how does the mental illness thing happen? Does someone just one day walk out of their home? Does the family lose track of somebody? Do they slip through the system?
All of the above. We have encountered individuals that had been released from a nursing home because they had become too combative for the nursing home staff.
Oh, okay.
Having a problem getting the family involved or no family at all. The nursing home actually dropped that individual off at a local hospital and basically dump him at the hospital.
Well, I can logically see how in both of these categories, both addiction and mental illness, at some point, a person, a home can get to a place where they're just not effective, they're not able, they're not equipped to deal with these things that
that's
happen.
A real gap. That's a real gap in our system.
Well, John, welcome to the Today Counts show, and thank you for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, John, we're gonna jump right in, and I think the short title to your organization, the short name for your organization is Hands of Hope. Is that right? Or what is the full title of your organization?
Right. The full name is Tarrant County Hands of Hope, but Hands of Hope is how we're known. And then locally, but through the other agencies, they may even shorten it from that to HOH. So
okay.
So
yeah, those handles already, help a lot, especially for those that are intimate and acquainted, with what you're doing. So HOH or Hands of Hope. And for those who are not familiar with the Dallas-Fort Worth area, tell us a little bit about that area, because that is where you're located, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we're located in Tarrant County. We service all areas of Tarrant, and then we'll respond to. We've got partnerships in the surrounding counties, Denton County, Dallas, Johnson, Wise, and even Parker as well. Parker originally, Wise being coming on actually this year, we started responding to issues that pop up in Wise.
Now, this is an organization that is, using your title, Hands of Hope, is literally a hands-on approach to addressing the issue of homelessness. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, we are street outreach, totally our primary focus are the unsheltered homeless. And by HUD's definition, that unsheltered is they must have spent the night in a place not suitable for human habitation.
Okay. And our audience is mostly made of, very curious learners and leaders. And so I believe that this topic is useful for us to understand society, understand some of the challenges that are in society, not just see it and not just recognize that it's there, but to get a deeper understanding of that. And so I know that you'll help us go there. But before we do, let's get to know you a little bit. Give us a short version of what your background is, and then how did you get into this? Because this is what you do full time. This is who you are. This is what you do. So maybe who are you? Where'd you come from, and how did you get involved in this?
Well, I born and raised in the Fort Worth area. My father. I was born and raised a pastor's son. He was pastor of a church for all of my adolescent years up through he retired high school, passed away here just a few years ago. We have pastors all over my family, and it was I ran from it. I didn't feel that calling, and
it wasn't attractive to you, huh?
No. Most of my life, I would have argued with you and said, Even when we started Hands of Hope, people would say, "Well, your ministry," and I would argue with them, "Oh, it's not a ministry. We're just a charity trying to help a person." But I ran from it. I really did. My background went really varied. I did contract security, private investigations. I did.
Oh,
Went through the police academy for one of the local departments here. We had bottom kind of fell out on a marriage there through that process. So ended up back in the contract world, contract security. From that to the insurance world, we had made connections through doing claims investigation type work. Ended up in the insurance world, and moved throughout the corporate insurance, from credentialing to provider relations to contract negotiation type stuff. Not sales, but on the corporate side of it. That actually led us to Florida. We were in Florida for 9 years, and we're looking at moving back to Texas. It was just, we love Florida. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, but we wanted to be back home. And whenever my wife and I, we had one other through the insurance world and that time period there in early 90s, I had gone to work for a car dealership. So it even sold cars there. Looking forward at the time, whenever there's career changes or whatever, it's real easy to get that where nothing makes sense, as far as, wow. Looking back now, it all makes sense. Even the car sales part. In November of '94, I sold a car to a girl that we've been together ever since. That was my wife. That's originally how we met. And so even that piece makes sense as far as what we're doing now.
how does the mental illness thing happen? Does someone just one day walk out of their home? Does the family lose track of somebody? Do they slip through the system?
All of the above. All
Okay.
of the above. We have encountered individuals that had been released from a nursing home because they had become too combative for the nursing home staff.
Oh, okay.
Having a problem getting the family involved, or no family at all.
Mm-hmm.
The nursing home actually dropped that individual off at a local hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and basically dump him at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, I can logically see how in both of these categories, both addiction and mental illness, at some point, a person, a home, can get to a place where they're just not effective, they're not able, they're not equipped to deal
right.
with these things that
That's
happen.
a real gap. That's a real gap in our system. Now we have
Okay.
the behavioral health, the mental health that that we partner with, Tarrant County MHMR, an incredible organization. But and they have a street outreach team that is just a phone call away when we need them, as well as we're in communication with them every week. There are team calls for our partnered organizations as well. But as far as a facility to take that individual in and remove him from the street to be able to, doesn't exist. I mean, I think the ones that do, that we're able to get them into, are so borderline overwhelmed with numbers. But there's not near enough, just from our aspect, there is not near enough of the mental health aspect or the behavioral health side of that, as far as a facility to house them. What we see is, as long as the insurance holds out as long as a private organization is being paid, the individual is there. But the minute that those funds run out, and the individual, if he has no coverage, if there's a real gap there as
Yeah.
far and they will end up on the street.
Yeah, I had a friend reach out to me and ask me if I knew of any resources in the San Antonio area for somebody who needed to go through rehab, as an example, but there was no financial resources. And in my research, I did find I don't know, about a half a dozen that popped up on my Google search. And as I should say, as our team kind of, dialed through those to learn more, every single one of them were either shut down or they were at beyond capacity. And so that, goes back to that's a testimony back to, what you're saying is a gap here. And it sounds like that's true both for the need of rehab institutions as well as mental illness. And do those two ever merge as twins, as the same, or not?
Yeah, and they're like MHMR. There are housing programs specifically designed for them that they've been successful at getting them housed. But it's like the rehab type thing. It's similar to the well, not similar to, but I was thinking addictions a minute ago, where you have the steps of you've got the first phase of detox before they can get into a longer term recovery program, and then that's one path, and then into like a halfway house type situation while they're getting on their feet. Behavioral health, there are rehab in there, but I would have to defer to one of our behavioral health experts on that, because I don't know. There is such a vast amount of programs in that world that that's where we hand that piece off. We'll hand that piece off to the pros.